Hi everyone, my name is Taylor.
I'm Drayson, and today we are going to be talking about social health. So, overall, there's two big goals that we want you to take out of today's lesson. One is you should be able to identify 2 to 3 aspects of healthy relationships. And the second is you should be able to explain the benefits of a positive support system on your mental and physical health. And since these are super specific to you, as we're going through these slides, it would be best to think about everything in the context of you, your life, and your friends. So relationships come in all shapes and sizes. They're not just romantic, and the relationships we have with our friends, our families, and our teachers all count as relationships. Um, all of our relationships, whether they're super meaningful or if they're just like small and auxiliary, act as support networks to help us manage our life stressors. They help us celebrate successes, and then help us to be a little bit resilient when there's times of adversity and there's struggles in our life. And some of the aspects of healthy relationships are here on the slide, and I'm going to touch on a few of these. So, good communication, this one is the biggest for a reason. Uh, Communication is essential to every relationship, and regular communication isn't necessarily the most important thing, but each member should feel comfortable expressing your feelings, your thoughts, whatever it is that pertains to just that relationship. Tying in with that is support. So you, as one party in a relationship, are always there for the other person the same way they are there for you. Listening. Listening is a big one, and so effective listening is how we frame it, because we don't just want to listen to respond when you're in these conversations with people with whom you share a relationship. It's important to listen, to really be there, hear what they have to say, and be in the moment with them. I really want to emphasize not just listening to respond. With that is a judgment-free zone. People should feel comfortable sharing, assuming the best in one another, giving the benefit of the doubt when you can, respecting each other and each other's boundaries, and importantly, forgiving each other when any of these things are crossed. If you can do all of these things, you get to that one that's there at the top, which is trust. So having trust in one another is a really crucial part of any relationship and is a cornerstone of its success. And I want to talk about two of my relationships. So I have my best friend and my grandparent. And so with my best friend Hayden, we tend to talk or text pretty much every day. There to celebrate the highs and the lows with him. I share secrets with him. He shares secrets with me. We spend time with one another, and it's a classic best friendship. This is in contrast to with my grandma, like one of my family members who I'm very close with, and I don't talk to her all the time, once every couple of weeks to once a month. But this unspoken trust between us makes me comfortable to share pretty much everything with her, regardless of how it's affecting me. I trust my grandparents and especially my grandma to give me advice, with the sole purpose of that advice helping me. I know she doesn't have any ulterior motives, and she only wants what's best for me. Also, especially with my grandma, she's really happy to share her opinion when she disagrees with something that I'm doing in my life. I don't know if Taylor, if you can relate to that a little bit.
Yes, definitely. My grandparents are the first people that will give me their honest but very trustworthy opinion. So I think that it's definitely a different relationship that I would have with a friend or classmate because I really trust my grandparents to be really honest and use some of their life advice to really help me and guide me to maybe not make the same mistakes that they did. So I think again, like those aspects we talked about, communication, trust, listening, are something that we have as well.
Yeah, it's definitely it's cool to see that those are shared. So we've talked about a bunch of aspects and in the context of a few relationships. So I want you to take a quick second, either on a piece of paper or just kind of think it to yourself, but share one aspect of healthy relationships that we've talked about thus far. We mentioned about 8.
So now that we've talked about aspects of healthy relationships, we really want to dive into what does a healthy relationship how does it affect our health? And that's going to affect our health through these support systems. So, a support system involves social relationships that include individuals who respect and support your personal goals, leading to positive health behaviors. So, people within these support systems can include family, friends, peers, community members, a whole range. It's going to be individual to you and your environment. And then there are characteristics of strong support systems that can include communication, trust, support, honesty, a lot of those aspects that we just talked about that will end up impacting your physical and mental health. So now we're going to watch a quick video and again, try to apply this knowledge to your own life and how these aspects of social relationships can impact your own health individually.
Social connections or social interactions with other individuals is crucial to mental health, which in turn is crucial to overall health. The lack of social connections has shown to increase stress hormones, weaken the immune system, and lessen cardiovascular functions. People who are lonely tend to consume more alcohol, exercise less, have less quality sleep, and fatigue easily. Social relationships allow you to share your achievements and have support when times are tough. Imagine achieving a long-term goal you have. What's the first thing you want to do? Tell someone, of course. Or imagine if something terrible happened. Not having someone to lean on and talk to can make that event linger and make you feel even more isolated. Giving support in relationships can actually be more beneficial than receiving support. When someone shares something positive in their life with you, it's a compliment. They wanted you to be a part of their success, and they know that you have a sincere interest in their life. And when someone shares a tragedy in their life, you know they really trust you, and they're looking to you to help them through this difficult time.
So now that we've watched the video, feel free to go back, rewind, pause. We really want you to apply these aspects to your own experiences in your own life. So we're going to start by talking about physical and mental health benefits of social relationships or social networks. And we're going to start by talking about the benefits to your physical health, which include lower cardiovascular risks, such as lowering blood pressure. So that has to do with your heart, a stronger immune system, so you're able to fight off disease, promoting healthy lifestyle behaviors. This can include more exercise, quality sleep, and less tired. And this kind of plays into your mental health as well. These physical and mental health are not separate. So, for mental health benefits, you can improve the ability to cope with stressful situations, alleviate the effects of emotional distress, promote lifelong positive mental health, and enhance self esteem. So, again, if you're exercising more, you're getting better quality sleep, that's going to impact your mental health as well because you can cope with stressful situations better. So, these two really go hand in hand, and it really demonstrates how important those benefits of social relationships are. Now we're going to look at a brief example. Harry has to present in class on Thursday, but he's nervous to speak in front of the class and hasn't eaten yet today. His classmate Isaiah tells Harry that it's okay to be nervous about presenting, and he is too. He recommends they get lunch together before class so he'll feel fueled and it can take his mind off the presentation. So Drayson, if you want to take us through some of the physical or mental benefits that this relationship that Harry and Isaiah have.
Yeah, so the first one is Harry hasn't eaten today. And like as a friend, like Isaiah is able to notice that and point out the fact that hey, you haven't eaten and you're probably not going to be fueled and ready for your presentation. So that's the first one, and that definitely applies more to your physical health. And I think the mental health part of it, Harry's clearly very anxious about speaking in front of the class. And there's something about being able to vent, to talk to somebody else, probably at lunch when they're sitting and eating, they're probably going to talk about Harry's presentation and their ability to talk and break it down and make it not this monster of an obstacle, but instead just something that he's going to do this afternoon. He's able to directly benefit from his relationship, from their relationship.
Yes, exactly. And, even going back to what we talked about earlier, so aspect of healthy relationships. So this relationship is showing it's judgment free, it's supportive, it's listening, and this is again a relationship that is between peers or classmates. So Isaiah can provide a pretty unique support system to Harry because he's going through something similar. And I think that Drayson and I can definitely relate to the experience of presenting in class, and being able to have a support system that can help you through those similar moments can be really important for your physical and mental health.
And not just that, but I think especially the fact that they're the same age, or at least roughly the same age. There's something to be said about that. You know how the other person's feeling. You know what their day looks like. It's not the same as talking to a peer that it is talking to your grandparent, for instance. Just to go back to that previous example, and so it's again really important to have diverse variety of these social support networks for when these times pop up. And so go ahead on that same piece of paper or out loud. Think about one benefit, we've talked about a few, one benefit that social relationships have on your mental or physical health. So we've talked about a few, and maybe those also apply to you, and maybe there's some that don't. Just think about one of those and take the time to really articulate it, to put it to paper. Feel free to pause the video if you need to.
So, just to summarize what we've talked about today, first we want to say this: healthy social relationships involve a variety of different aspects. It can include communication, trust, listening, and support. But it's also important to remember that they're unique and they're individual to us. So, it could be your relationship with your family, friends, peers, or neighbors. But these social relationships may differ, but they all have an impact on your health. And these positive support systems are really what we want to focus on and try to achieve, because they can impact our physical and mental health, like we talked about today. And this can be short and long term impacts on your well being.
Thanks for listening. Feel free to share any questions with your teacher. They can always reach out to us, or more likely, they'll probably be able to answer them too. But thanks for taking the time. It was nice to see you.
Thank you.